what happens is Van Hoff. So Van Hoff. So Van Hoff like is technically a diagram thing, but it actually derive an equation from it that is not on your formula sheet at least, I think so. No, it's not. No, it's not. Actually, Van Hoff is not entirely. Actually, no, it's right here, actually. I lied. But it's, yeah, it is actually that one. So Van Hoff is actually about a diagram. So let's say we have a diagram, which is your y-axis is ln of k, and your x-axis is 1 over t, like temperature. And this diagram may have a positive or negative axis. I have no idea. I'm just making it up. And they always over it. They just like any other equation, like any other linear algebra question you have, they write their slope and their x-axis. So where the m would be the slope and b would be the y intercept. So, but then here's the thing. The slope and the y-intercept are meaningful in this, where the m, which is the slope, is equal to minus, when I say minus, I mean people forget about that, minus delta H naught over R. So R, so that means that has to be in joules. And the B would be delta S naught over R. So you can find your delta H and delta S from the slope and y-intercept of this diagram. That's what it means. And then you can obviously like find the delta G naught from those things. Okay, very simple. It's pure memorization. So in this diagram, so technically it's one, so see like that is your slope and that's your y-intercept. Yeah, so again, this will come up very likely. I mean, it's pretty like common questions. Like usually one of this comes up on a midterm, the other one that which I'm about to tell you comes up on a final, vice versa. So there's an equation that they derive, but that one is definitely not given, unless I actually find it in a second. No, it's not given. So this is, again, you must memorize. Like it's not, it's a super, 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 super high yield equation. So it's this one. So it's ln of K2 over K1 is equal to delta H naught over R over 1 over T1 over 1 over T2. Okay. So again, they're both Van Hoff equations. So technically this is derived from this. How? I don't know. But you're like, well, that's a crazy equation. First of all, like, how do you know? So when is this question like usually come up with? Again, we're going to be like practicing this next time, so don't worry about that. We're going to be doing an example of this in a bit. Is that this is actually very unique because again, as I told you, the K equilibrium constant is temperature dependent. So as you change the temperature, the K changes with it. But enthalpy is not temperature dependent. And again, because you have an R here, this has to be in joules again. And there's 0% chance the enthalpy is given in joules to you. Because again, it's a big number. So again, but if you forget it, the number will be totally off. But then you're like, okay, so how do we know? Like when they give us, so they say, for example, your my K is at this temperature is this, and my K at this temperature is this. How do I know which one is like 1 and which one is 2? It doesn't matter. As long as you stay consistent, which one is K1 and which one is temperature and which one is K2 and which one is temperature, the equation works either way. And again, we'll talk about this next time, but you know this is, you're supposed to use this equation when they suddenly, all of a sudden, they talk about two Ks and two temperatures. So we don't have any other equation that you could actually solve when you're given more than one K. So that's actually how it is very obvious. There's nothing crazy about it. And then they always say, yeah, by the way, the enthalpy is temperature independent. That's like a biggest not red flag, like a huge like tell that you're supposed to use that one. Okay, so okay, there you go. So we don't have that much time, so I'm going to do this very quickly. We're going to be practicing this a little bit more at the beginning of the next session before we move on. Because again, you see, like, there is like a question. I knew there was a question about it. I haven't done this, but like I knew there's always a question about it, like on the midterms. So I knew I just have to scroll up and find it. So let's look at this question. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Think about it and let me know. So what do you think is the option based on the equation I've given you? 2 minutes, no more. It's pretty easy. It's not a trick question. I just wanted to practice. Why is nobody answering?
I'm not sure how to connect with the delta S. Like, if the temperature is T or I'm kind of confused.
So that's your B and that's your M.
Mhm.
So you don't have to even like solve for anything. It's more like a sign game where so minus 71.9 is equal to your enthalpy. Wait, see, I forgot. Enthalpy over R and minus 0.517 is equal to delta S over R. That's really what it is. Oh my God. So, so that means, what does that mean? So the fact negative, negative. So the enthalpy is going to be greater than 0 because D is going to cross out. And delta S is going to be less than 0. So that means this is endothermic. And that's so endothermic and delta S is greater than 0, less than 0, sorry. So that will be A. I mean, I could solve for delta S and delta H though, but I mean, that's not necessary here. Awesome. See, like fun stuff.